Hi everyone. So let's talk about WWE NXT from July 21st, which was a fun show. Let's talk about it, guys. We are live, and the show kicks off with Thea Hill looking to talk to Robert Stone in his office as Robert Stone gets off a call telling someone that he'll see them soon, and Natalia Natty, known as Natty, enters to brag about her confidence in beating Jada Parker later in the night, and Robert Stone talk also again, Robert Stone walks off before Thea Hill could. Also again, Thea, Thea Hill can talk to him. Can talk to him. Then we start the show off with Dark State fences Daquan Kroger and Robert No and Nimson Nor in a six-man tag, which was pretty good. Let's talk about it, guys. So Daquan Kroger brings the fight to Dark State at the bottom of the entrance ramp, and Nizam Door and Morno join in, and Dion Lennox dumps Door in the ring, and the bell sounds, and Daquan Kroger and Oris Grissom tags in, and Grissom delivers a body slam to Kroger, and Cutter and James tag in on his side and rock Kroger with an uppercut, but Griffin tagged back in, and Daquan Kroger delivers a chop block to his knee, and Morno tags in and flies into the ring from the apron, then tags out to Door. Then Door and Morno deliver a kick leg sweep combination to Grimson before landing kicks on Grimson and Dion Lennox from the ring apron to level them, and Denim Door and Morno look to celebrate, but Jaquan Kroger interrupts and calls for them to send Dark State through the announce desk, and Dark State gains in the upper hand and stands tall over Jaquan Kroger. Then Griffin dumps Denim Door back inside to the ring during the break, and Dion Lennox fires off stomps and right hands on Denim Door, and he whips him into the corner spine first and delivers a shoulder to his midsection, then lands a belly-to-belly suplex on Nizam Door. Then James tags in and continues wearing down Door, then tags out to Grimson, who delivers a fader bomb to him. Then Dion Lennox tags in and levels Nizam Door with a back elbow, then wears him down with a submission hold. And then Daquan Kroger, then Cutter James tags in back from the break, and Daquan Kroger delivers a drop kick to Dion Lennox to level him onto the outside, and he levels James with a clothesline and delivers a crossbody out of the corner to tag out James, and Grissom then dumps Grissom out of the ring and sends James crashing into the mat spine first, and then Daquan Kroger delivers a shotgun drop kick to James and pins him, but Dion Lennox breaks the fall, and Morno tags back in, and Door trips him up, and James and Grissom onto the ring apron, and Dion Lennox gets Daquan Kroger up on his shoulder, but Daquan Kroger sends Dion Lennox crashing through a piece of the NXT set with a Death Valley driver. Then Grimson delivers a scoop power slam to Denim Door off the ring apron, and Morno rolls up James into the ring, and James kicks out and levels Morno with a big boot, but Grimson tags in and delivers a double powerbomb onto Morno with James for the win, and that's how the Dark State won and defeated Rumble Noble and Nizam Door, which I like the match, guys, like I said again, and that's what started the show. Then after the match, Grimson and James hold back, and Dion Lennox as security holds back Daquan Kroger. Then we have the next thing on the show, which was Leonard Gray and Loa Vice meet with one another ahead of their NXT Women's Championship match. Let's talk about it, guys. So Gray says it would have been nice to run it back with Kelly Armstrong or Kehlani Jordan, but she's glad that Loa Vice is the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, and Lola Vice says she told Kendall Gray that she would dominate the NXT Women's Division one day, but she's not done yet, and says she keeps moving forward after falling to capture the NXT Women's Championship many times before she actually did. And Lola Vice says Kendall Gray walked into the ring a few weeks ago and got real with the fans about her versus, her fellow. I'll just go back to that, and says all she saw when she looked at Gray was someone who needs Valentin, and Gray says she did not need Valentin, and says that the NXT Women's Championship is qualifying, and she says she doesn't need years to prove she belongs in the NXT. That she also again she doesn't need years to prove she belongs in NXT. And Lola Vice says she looks like a champion and sees a woman who is chapter in herself, knowing her worth, while she sees someone in chapter also again insecure, and Grace and Gray, and she says Gray was the better woman for one night. Then says Gray beat her in a match, but not in a fight. And Gray says she thinks Lola Vice has the perfect idea by making their NXT Women's Championship match in an NXT Underground. And Lola Vice says she doesn't need Gray should face her in a fight, and says she'll give her an extra week of training with the NXT Underground match taking place in 2 weeks' time from now. But Gray expresses her confidence in Lola Vice. Then we had Carver fences Hulk, also again Hank, also again Carver fences Hank, which was fun, guys. Let's talk about Carver. I love Carver. The match was fine. Let's talk about it, guys. So the bell rings and Hank brings the fight to Carver, and Carver sends Hank crashing out of the ring with a boot, but Hank delivers a sidewalk slam to Carver back inside the ring, and Carver takes out Hank onto the outside by sending him crashing into the ring steps. But Hank surprises Carver with a drive out and sends him crashing into the ring post. I'll repeat it again, guys. From there, Carver takes out Tank, his other buddy Tank, Tank. I'll repeat it again. Carver takes out Tank onto the outside by sending him crashing into the ring steps, but Hank surprises Carver with a dive out and sends him crashing into the ring post, and then Hank dumps Carver back inside the ring and catches him with a flying uppercut, then ascends to the top rope and looks to fly, and Carver moves out of the way and shoves Hank crashing into the mat, then connects with a lifting spine buster on him for the win, and that's how Carver defeated Hank. And like I said again, guys, which I thought was a fine match for what it was and stuff. So, like I said again, and I'll repeat it again, guys. So Carver took out Tank before all of that stuff. He took out Tank onto the outside by sending him crashing into the ring steps, and then Hank came back and stuff for a little while. Then, like I said again, and Carver won with a lifting spine buster on him for the win, and that's how Carver defeated Hank. Then after the match, Carver continues to beat down Hank, and then Tank looks to come to Hank's aid, but Carver sends him crashing into the announce desk spine first and looks to use one of the ring steps on him, and EK Porter blindsides Carver from behind and sends him crashing into one of the ring steps spine first, with Hank and Tank landing a double splash on Carver inside the ring before delivering an over-the-shoulder power slam, running shoulder bounce combination to him, and EK then follows it up with a moonsault off the top rope. We then head backstage where Shallow Hill approaches Danhausen looking for Christian Angels, and Hill essentially walks away with 2 teeth from Danhausen, and which less in stolen crypto. I'll just say it again, cryptally as his payment, which I wasn't really into that. Didn't care less. I just didn't care as much. But that's just my opinion, guys. Everybody has their own opinion, but that's just me on that. Then we had Jada Parker fences Natty, known as Natalia. I always say Natalia. So yes, guys, we had Jada Parker fences Natty with Carmen Pasicru and Nikita Lyons. Let's talk about this, guys, which was a decent match for what it was, and I love what Natty's been doing in AAA and all the stuff that she's been doing. So yeah, props to her. Let's talk about this, anyways, guys. So the bell rings and Parker tackles Natty, and she rains down right hands on her and levels her with a shoulder tackle. And Parker wears down Natty's arm, but Natty sends Parker crashing into the bottom rope, left knee first during the commercial break. And after she gets in the better of Parker onto the outside with some help from Carmen Pezzico and Nikita Lyons, and Natty lands an elbow on Parker's injury left knee. Natalia and yeah, are three of my favorites. Yeah, they're pretty good. I like them as well, man. Thanks for coming and joining. Appreciate you. But yeah, back to where I was at, which I appreciate your comments. But Natalia sends Parker crashing into the bottom rope, left knee first from the break, and then after she gets the better of Parker onto the outside with some help from Carmen Pasgrove and Nikita Lyons, and Natty lands an elbow on Parker's injury left knee and wears it down with a submission hold, but Parker sends in a ring of Saturn on Natty, and Natty responds with an clothesline to Parker and back from the break and pins her, but Parker kicks out and catches Natty with a Falcon Arrow when Natty looks to land a suplex on her. And Natty lands a driver on Parker and slings into a sharpshooter on her, then trips up and Natalia and locks in a sharpshooter on Parker, and Nikita Lyons looks to throw in the towel for Natty, but Carmen Pazzico stops her and the towel is thrown into the ring, and then the ref calls for the bell when the camera swings around and we find out that Thea Hill was the person to throw the towel inside the ring to cost Natty the match, and that's what happened right there. So, yeah, I appreciate you that you do that, man. That's good work for you, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Like I said, again, that's good for your channel. That's good for your revenue, for your people. So yeah, good job, bro. Okay, then Nico Fence and Easy Dame then make their way to the ring, and we then head backstage where Robert Stone tells OTM that they will be facing Birthrights next week, and then tells Bronco that he needs to talk to him alone and about whether he'll be in NXT or AAA due to coming shows that both brands have on the same night. And Prince tells Bronco to catch him up later. And that's what happened right there, guys. And then we had Sean Spears, Vince, and Nickel Vince. And I'm back to reading the comments again. Yeah, I appreciate you, the comments. I should show your comments on here. I appreciate you stopping by. So yeah, so let's go back to Sean Spears versus Nico Vince with Easy Dame, which I thought this was pretty good, even though Sean Spears won this match. I like Nico Vince. I used to be a big hater of Sean Spears, but I like him a little bit better now. But I'm not like a huge fan of him. But yeah, I got used to him a little bit more better of Sean Spears. You know, I didn't like the dude at first. I just how he was booked or whatever. But I hope he gets used better. But like this whole calling group is pretty good. I like it though. But yeah, I just think that he's been getting used better than he was back then. But that's just me. But carry on. So the bell rings and Spears sends Vince through us again. Sends Vince crashing into the ring apron face first, and Spears rains down right hands on Vince, but Vince runs over Spears with a clothesline and fires off right hands on him, but Spears lands a two block on Vince on the outside of the ring. And Easy Dame mercilessly distracts Sean Spears, opening the door for Nico Vance to deliver a body slam to Sean Spears onto the floor. And Nico Vance sends Sean Spears crashing into the ring apron and spine first during the break and dumps him back into the ring, then levels Spears with a shoulder tackle and sends him crashing out of the ring with a boot back from the break, and then Nickel Fence looks to fly off the ring apron back from the break, but Spears sees him coming and sends him crashing into the ring steps, and Spears grabs the chair he brought with him to the ring and assists using it, but Easy Dame hops up onto the apron and Lazy Rain, I was thinking Lazy Rain trips Easy Dame onto the apron and brawls with her onto the outside as Sean Spears prevents that Nico Vance hits him with the chair in with the tribute of the a La Ella. I was thinking with the Ella Eddie Guerrero, and the refs call for the bell and declare that Sean Spears as the winner of the match, and that's what happened right there in that match. So yeah, I like that with the hit him with the chair with that, which was pretty good and stuff, guys. So put your thoughts in. I appreciate everybody that stops in back and forth. So yeah. And my favorite person on NXT right now is Lowell Vice. I love Lowell Vice. I love Kendall Gray. Um, there's a lot of people I like. I like Shallow Hill. I think Shallow Hill is a pretty good dude. What else? The biggest guy that I like most is Daquan Kroger. I think he's going to be the next big thing if WWE knows how to use Daquan. I would love to see Daquan get a big opportunity in the future, but we'll see how that goes for his future. But carry on. So then we had the new girl that everybody calls by her old name, Nat, Nikki Blackheart. That was her name in the Independence. Nikki Blackheart. Going by Rena Falcan. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Renita Falcan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Renita Falcan. But I'm gonna call her by Nikki Blackheart as well too. But anyways, guys, so yeah, Nikki Blackheart faced Skylar Ray, which was a good match for Nikki Blackheart. Let's talk about it, guys. So yeah, the bell rings and Nikki Blackheart sends Sky Ray crashing into the mat face first, and she levels Ray and charges at her, but Ray moves out of the way and fires off right hands on Nick Blackheart, and Blackheart responds with a back breaker and an elbow drop on Ray, then wears her down with a submission hold, and Ray powers up with her feet, and Nikki Blackheart looks to land a elbow drop on her, but Skylar Ray rolls out of the way, and Nikki Blackheart responds with a rack on Skylar Ray, and Skylar Ray taps out, and that's what happened right there. And she won by submission, and that's what happened right there. Then we had this match. Tony D'Angelo faces Naraku, known as Evil. You can call him Evil too. But yeah, guys, this match was good. I thought that Naraku was going to win this. I thought that Evil was going to win this, but it didn't happen. And we had debut of Cruz Montana, which I'm going to call him either one, Cruz Montana or Mike Santana. You can call him either one, Mike Santana or Cruz Montana. But yeah, guys, we'll talk about that here in a second. The bell rings and Naraku spits mist into Tony D'Angelo's face and he sends him crashing into the barricade and then the ring steps and then dumps him back inside the ring and brings the ring steps to him and evil Naraku pins Tony D'Angelo, but Tony D'Angelo kicks out before Naraku dumps a trash can, several chairs, and a pair of candlesticks into the ring, and he sets up four chairs facing one another and duplexes Tony D'Angelo on top of the chair, but Tony D'Angelo peers water into his eye and affects to tear down the mist that Naraku spits into them, and then sends Naraku crashing in through one of the barricades near the entrance ramp and brawls with him into the gorilla position through the break. Then Naraku cracks a light across Tony D'Angelo's spine and he picks up one of the candlesticks and dumps him into the ring. But D'Angelo grabs a crowbar and uses it to knock the candlestick out of Naraku's hand, and Naraku sends D'Angelo crashing into the ring post and dumps him back into the ring, then grabs a ladder, and Tony D'Angelo capitalized Naraku into a trash can and sets up between the top and bottom turnbuckle back from the break, then goes for a pin, but Naraku kicks out and Naraku sends D'Angelo crashing into the top rope run first, and D'Angelo then hits Naraku with the ladder onto the outside, and Naraku delivers enter the abyss to D'Angelo onto the floor, then sends D'Angelo crashing through the announce desk on his shoulder, then looks to spit more mist into D'Angelo's eye, and then D'Angelo gets his hands up on time and uses the mist on his hand to blind Naraku with, and grabs a candlestick and grabs it across Naraku's spine. The low blows him using the candlestick and drags Naraku up one of the ring steps to step up next to the table into the ring and choke slams Naraku off the ring steps through the table, then pins him for the win, and that's how Tony D'Angelo retained the NXT Championship. Then after the match, Mike Santana's music hits and he makes his way to the ring through the crowd and he stares down D'Angelo in the ring as D'Angelo holds up his NXT Championship as the show went off the air. And yeah, guys, I gave this show a 9 out of 10. NXT just delivers every week, in my opinion, but Raw and SmackDown, that's a different story, in my opinion. Raw and SmackDown is not my cup of tea, but if it's your cup of tea, bro, that's your opinion, Hitman. That's your opinion, bro. But me personally, Raw and SmackDown is not my cup of tea. But I appreciate you with the comments. But yeah. But yeah, guys, like I liked how NXT puts on these good matches every week. I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be great. Can't wait for that as well, guys. And I gave that show, like I said again, I gave this show a 9 out of 10. And that's all I have to say, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit those notification bells as always, guys. And this is CJD 2006. I'll say it again. This is CJD 2006. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit those notification bells as always. And don't forget, like I said again, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit those notification bells as always. And peace out and take care and much love. And this is CJD 2006, and we're out.